Good morning. Good morning. Hello. How are you guys? Hope you guys are doing well. I'm Teresa with Teresa Rene Art. And today we are going to do our last ornament of the season. I say that, but I might do another one next week. I don't know. I may be over it. Might do something else. Good morning, Sue. How are you? Let me know when you come on. Make sure to say hello. I know everybody is so busy during this holiday season. We have a few more days left until the big day. So thank you guys for being here and taking your time. I know you have many, many things that you could be doing. Hello, Anna. So I appreciate you taking this time to spend with us and watch. I have a really awesome ornament planned for you today. I did do a fair amount of prep work this morning, so I'm going to show you what I did. But this is something different. There's no decoupage at all. It is going to be a straight up painted, and we're going to use, again, velvet powder. I've been loving the velvet powder this season. So I'm going to be using the garnet and the green velvet powder as well. And like I said, I did a lot of prep work, but I'm going to show you what I did. I'm not going to do it over, but I'm going to walk you through what I did to get it to this point so that you can to do it on your own. So feel free to share the love. And if there's anybody you know who is in need of some inspiration, feel free to send them my way, and we will make sure they have plenty of inspiration. Good morning, Rennie. Good morning, Karen. Hello, Linda. Thank you guys for being here. Make sure to say hello so I know you're here. If you're watching on replay, I'll appreciate it if you type in #replay, you guys. So thank you for spending this time with me. I will be live again next week. We don't have plans to go out of town or anything. So I will be around. All right, you guys, so I'm going to turn my camera down. Let me talk you through what I'm doing. Is anybody traveling this week? Anybody going anywhere or doing anything fun for the holidays? We are staying home. We have my stepdaughter and my mom are coming over. So we're going to have a quiet Christmas with them. And of course, all the kids. All right, y'all. So this is what we've done so far. This is a plastic ornament, and I have casted it with various molds, and I have painted it with black gesso. I know it's a little bit difficult to see, but I'm going to talk you through what I did to get it to this point. I missed a couple spots on the black gesso. Good morning, Rima. Hello, Mara. Hi, Teresa. Hi, Dana. Thank you guys for being here. Hi, Christy. Hey, Nicole. Good morning, y'all. If I didn't say hi to you, I'm sorry. Hope you guys are all doing well. Okay, so that's what I've done so far just to get it to this point. But I'm going to talk you through how I got it there. So this is a plastic round ornament. This is the same one that I used for my Santa suit. It is approximately 4 inches in diameter. It is actually exactly 4 inches in diameter. And it is let's see, I got two. And I really just wanted it. I'm not trying to fill it or do anything fancy on the inside. I just needed this particular one for the shape of it. So what I did was I glued the two halves together, and then I started constructing out my design. It is a pretty simple design. Okay, so I glued those together. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and do that if I can get my glue working. If not, then we won't worry about it. But my glue's been flowing pretty good lately, so we'll see if it continues. Nope, gotta run it through the sink. Okay, so I'm not gonna glue it at the moment, but I will show you what I did. Okay. Hello, hello. All right. So you snap the halves together. You do want to glue it. Just take some express glue and glue around that little rim inside. Make sure it's nice and secure, and make sure these top pieces are lined up. That's probably fine. Okay, and then you want to take basically what you want to do. So you're sectioning it out into 8 equal parts, and you're going to use a Sharpie. This doesn't have to be exact, you guys, but you know, what I did was I just took a measuring tape, and you want the center line. So you're not going to stick, in other words, you're not going to stick this right in the middle. You're going to position it so that the center edge is roughly in the middle. And then you're going to bring that around. Okay. So you're not going to be able to get it exact. So don't freak out about that. And then you're just going to take your Sharpie and you're going to use that straight edge to draw your guide marks. So we're just making like some guide posts here. All right. And so with that in mind, this spot right here is the center. And then this part up here is going to be our center for that one. So we're going to do that 3 more times. So you're going to take this one in half, this one in half, this one in half, and this one in half, actually 4 more times. So we're going to do that all the way around. And then you're using, so this is the reason I chose a see-through one, is so that I can see where my edge is on that other center line. So you're trying to get it roughly equal, roughly symmetrical. If it's not exact, no one is ever going to know except you. It's not that big of a deal. So don't I'm not measuring here. I'm just using my measuring tape basically as a straight edge. Okay. And a Sharpie right along this ornament. Okay. So there's another one. And but I thought it was important to demonstrate this because you don't want to just start gluing down molds on this shape without having some sort of guide marks on there. So you do need to have some sort of plan, and this is the best way that I found to get yourself organized toward that objective. If you feel like freehanding it and you're good at freehanding, then that is totally fine. All right. And then we have one more. And if you notice as you're gluing that they're a little bit wonky or a little bit crooked, actually, we don't even need to do that one because this one is already done for us. So we're using what's here as our line. All right. And then I found it helpful. I did find it helpful to do one in the middle as well. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do one in the middle. Just so that when I glue my middle pieces, that I am even, or that I'm lining up all the way around. So it's not that difficult. You just need a soft measuring tape. And if I'm a little bit higher than middle, that's fine too. This is just a guide. Okay, so I am a little bit higher than middle, but that's okay. In fact, I can go ahead because this is all going to be covered up. So it's not like this, I only get one shot at it. You know, this is all going to be covered up with molds. So no one's going to see your marks. So you can go in and make another one just to give you a little bit more, oops, a little bit more guidance. So I'm just trying to get an idea of where my bands should go. Okay, so I think that I'm a little off kilter. Like if I look at it, it's a little wobbly, but it's no big deal. All right. So this is how you would start. And I'm just going to do a few pieces just so you can see. I used this mold. This is the, some sort of cardinal mold from Prima. Does it have the name on here? It's called Cardinal Cheer. I used this one, and I used these two pieces here, which are like the holly and the berries. There are plenty of other options. It does not have to be this one. Use whatever you like. I liked this one because of all the leaves and the berries, and I thought it was just a festive little loop. So you want to put your center pieces on first. And I'm using Jovi clay here. And like I said, I'm not going to do the whole thing, but I'm just going to get it started so you can see the technique. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and press this down into here. My clay actually might be a little bit dry, but press that down. And you know what? Before I do this, I may as well just go ahead and I'm going to regret if I start. Actually, you know what? I'll just do it here. I was going to say I was going to regret it if I don't glue my halves together before I start gluing molds on, but I just won't. I'm not going to glue around the halves just yet. I'll just do it. I'll just do it here where they don't intersect. All right. All right. So I casted both of them at a time, but for the sake of demonstration, I'm just going to do one. And then we're going to go ahead and put some heavy body gel. It doesn't matter if you use the matte or glossy for this because, again, it's not going to show. We're going to paint 100% over this. So it's not, it doesn't matter if it seeps out and it's opaque or transparent. So, or you just use regular glue, use what you have. All right. And then we would put that piece here. I actually don't want the stem. So we would put that piece along that center line. Oops. And then we would continue that all the way around until it's completely covered. Okay. So it's roughly center. Again, doesn't matter. The important thing is just to go all the way around and then line them up kind of as seamlessly as possible where they connect. You do want to make sure you don't have any extra glue. All right. And then what I did was I took, so this was a lot of gluing work, and I did it over a few days. As a side dry, I would move on to the other side. So then I took this mold here. This is my little rope mold. You can find this on my Amazon storefront. It's in my link tree. And I used the second one, the second little guy here. So you don't want to put your molds on for these parts until you have this all the way around, because otherwise you're going to go too far down. You're going to have to manipulate these pieces over that casting. So you want to make sure you do this middle section first and then do these guys so you can join it up against the sides. Where did I get the hold? The holder is from my friend Tracy from Scrappy's Rustics. Her husband cuts these and makes them. She sent me one as a gift, and I use it all the time. So thank you, Tracy. All right, so we're going to put this, open that up, and then we are going to take our heavy body gel, express glue, whatever, and you'll just line that up to the leaf. Make sure it's completely straight. And then just cut off, use a palette knife or whatever to cut your extra. And then position it how you want it. So yeah, I thought it was important to show you how we got to this, how we got it here. And again, it was a decent amount of work, but you know, usually when I do stuff like this, I do it like 10 minutes at a time. So, you know, I just spend a few minutes and just get a few sections glued, then come back over, do a few more, etc. So, and just make sure it's kind of lined up how you want it. All right. And then I would do that all the way around. Okay. So does that sort of make sense? I hope you can see how I was able to get my my design and get it to this point. Not hard, just definitely time consuming. Once all of the clay dried, then I was able to come in and I used black gesso and I primed the whole thing with black gesso. I did not do any priming ahead of time. I just glued straight to the plastic ornament. So that's how I got it to this point. Let's move on. We are ready to begin. And of course, now that I've started that one, of course I have to do another one. Maybe I'll use different colors of velvet powder or some other, maybe I'll use some metallic, maybe I'll do gold and silver metallic flakes or something like that. Okay, so now I'm going to begin my painting. Before I do that, though, I had a couple spots that I need to correct. They didn't get enough primer. Sometimes when you're looking at stuff from different angles, and yes, I have 3 pairs of glasses behind me. Thank you, Sue. When you're looking at stuff from different angles, you can't see the spots that you miss. But this is just black primer paste, Pentart black gesso primer paste. Try to get it on as smoothly as you can. You don't want it like lumpy. Right. I could have used white. I just would have had more, I would have had to be a little more thorough when I did my painting. But the black underneath is a little bit more forgiving when you're painting, because then like if you go in after the fact with some glazing or something, you can't tell if it's the glaze or the black primer showing through. So that's why I chose to do black, because there's a lot of surface area here to cover with paint. And I'm not doing any decoupage. If I was doing decoupage on any of these squares or these little triangular sections, for sure I would have painted it white, but I'm not doing any decoupage today. So I figured I'd help myself and base coat it in a darker color. If they had, to be honest, you guys, if they had a brown primer, and maybe I'll mention that to them, because I do use brown a lot as a base coat. If they had a brown primer, I would have totally used a brown primer here, because it's the same color as like the antiquing gel that I'm going to be using. All right, so I'm going to dry real quickly. Yeah, this folder is from my friend Tracy at Scrappy's Rustics. For my retailers who are on, for the products that I'm going to be using, if you have black primer paste, any of these paints, decor glue, tacky, metal pigment, velvet powders, please share your links so our viewers know how to find you. We do have a lot of retailers who carry our Pentart products. They are, in my opinion, the absolute best mixed media products on the market. And there's such a huge selection of things to choose from. It's to the point where this is pretty much what I use exclusively, just because I don't need anything else really. All right, so I'm using pine green acrylic paint, and I'm going to begin painting these leaves. You guys bear with me. There's a lot of painting to be done. So we're probably going to be here for a little while. So feel free to, keep me on the small screen and then do your browsing or whatever. Finish your Christmas shopping on your phone or whatever. We have a lot of leaves to paint. I won't be offended if you're quiet out there, because we are going to be painting. We're going to be doing a lot of painting here, and we're probably going to be here for at least an hour and a half. And I thought about, I did think about doing some of this ahead of time too, but then I was like, I don't want to do too much ahead, because then I think you don't get to see it come together. And I think there's definitely some magic in watching it all starting from this stage, and then watching it all sort of transform and come together. So anyway, Has everybody done with their Christmas shopping? Have you guys finished everything you need to do? Or do you still have more to do? I think we're mostly done. I do have a fair amount still that I need to wrap. But for the most part, we're pretty covered at this point. So got a lot of leaves. I have some stems. I've got these little tiny berries, which I'm saving because I'm getting this green paint just about everywhere. So I'll come in with some earthy brown next and get some of my stems and some of these in between parts. Oh, Robin, I hear ya, girl. I'm not ready for anything. Although we did do, because last weekend my granddaughter was here. The weekend before she was here. The weekend before that, we actually did our Christmas exchange. So I already got like half of it out of the way with them. So then we'll have round 2 on Christmas Day with our kids and Heather and Grandma. Still haven't really done any wrapping. That's on my agenda for this weekend. Yes, baby Sarah gifts are, it doesn't real, to be honest, baby Sarah gift is the most important gift in your life right now. Make sure that baby is happy and spoiled and that she knows her grandma loves her. I got mine. All she wanted was a new Adidas tracksuit because she's had one that was like a size 3T. She's 5 years old. She wears a 4T, but she had a 3T tracksuit and she grew out of it and she's been begging for another one. So she got a new pink Adidas tracksuit and she was so happy. All right. Okay, so those leaves look pretty good. Let's come in with the earthy brown. I do need to paint the sides of these leaves. And it doesn't matter if I'm getting a little bit like on parts that don't need to be painted green because we're going to be doing a lot of painting. I will have plenty of opportunities to touch up and fix my mistakes as I go. So it's not necessarily about precision at this stage. It's more about getting some color down. And I'm taking the opportunity as I'm painting these sides to do a light second coat. And then while I have this green open, trying to think if I should do that now or if I should wait. Because I'm going to be doing, I am going to be doing alternating strips with green and red velvet powder. So I think I'll go ahead and do that while I have this green out. So you can sort of start to see the design come together. All right. All right. So let me get a little bit thicker of a brush here. All right. This one's fine. All right. So what I'm going to be doing is I use the Cardinal Cheer. That's what I used. I used those two little sections for that. All right, so I'm going to be doing like alternating green and red, and then I'm going to do it in a alternating way. So this one's going to be green, this one's going to be red, and I'm going to do that all the way around. So let's go ahead and paint this. We'll just do all of our green sections first. This is definitely, so you guys, I'm taking inspiration here from my good friend Avetta. This is definitely reminiscent of something she might do. I took an Easter egg class with her a few years ago, and this was very similar kind of way that she modeled her Easter egg on a pedestal with all these sections and layouts, etc. All right, and then here we're going to be doing the opposite configuration. So my green's going to go here instead of here. And I'm going to be painting these strips in gold. So again, I'm not worried about getting a little bit of green on there at this juncture. So the challenging thing about wearing my reading glasses is it's difficult for me to see the screen while I have my reading glasses on because they blur everything too much. So I can't see your comments at the moment. I'll take a break from my reading glasses in a minute. All right. So everywhere that I have the green painted here, we're going to be using the green velvet powder. All right, let's get some earthy brown out. Or actually even, let's see. Yeah, earthy brown. Because I want to get the stems in earthy brown, and like there's a couple of parts down in the middle here. Let's get a small brush. Oh, excuse me. This one's fine. And again, I don't care if I touch my berries with this color either. I'm just trying not to touch my green too much. And we will do, we're going to put some gold wax on it. So all things get camouflaged with gold wax. So it's, again, like not necessarily after precision as much as we are for general ideas, right? All right. That looks pretty good. Let me grab my green again because I definitely got green in more places than I wanted to, or brown, I mean. Okay. This piece will be available next year for my Clark's Christmas Kids auction next year. And I'm going to be doing several more between now and then because I want to have about 40 pieces for that auction. And I find that the Christmas pieces are going to do the best. So I'm going to continue to go. I may not show them all live, but I will continue to work on Christmas projects between now and then. So you may see some pop up. Don't be surprised. All right, let's get our red. This is Red Vine. That's the color. It's Red Vine. That is the name of the color. I had a couple people ask me to confirm last time I used it. That is the name of the color, Red Vine. And let's go ahead and we're going to paint our red sections. I think I'm going to need a smaller brush for some of these parts. Let's get a smaller. So anywhere that I know I'm going to be able to apply velvet powder, I'm just going to get in here with some of that red. So as you start to graduate, like you move from color to color, the later colors, the precision is going to matter more, because now I'm not going to continue to go over this again and again as many more times. So. We'll do the berries in a minute. I don't know how far down I'm going to be able to get in there, but it's all berries anyway right here, so it's not like I'm going to be blocking any green. Okay. All right, now let's switch. Hi, Denise. Oh, Christy, I'm so glad. Thank you so much for supporting that cause. All right. Okay. All right. So it should be interesting when we get to the velvet powder stage, because we've got a lot of little small areas. It's going to be fine. The green is called pine green, and the brown is called earthy brown. And these honestly are staples in my paint collection. The red is called red vine. So I wanted our last project to be really special, you guys. So that's why I chose something with a little bit more meat to it, something a little more. You guys we've been doing this like for almost a whole year at this point. So y'all are ready for some things with a little bit more to them, so that you can see, like, sometimes it's not necessarily about the products that you choose. There's as much to figuring out a composition that works and mold placement There's as much to this with that as there is, you know, the products that you're using. The products that you're using are a tool to help you achieve a desired outcome. In your art. And that's really the point that I want to make is, you know, at this stage in the game, we have been through all of the products in the product line, and now we're trying to focus on how to use them creatively to create the art that you want to create. And maybe your art looks different from mine, and that's totally fine. It's just they are a tool to express your own visions. And nothing more, really. I think sometimes we place too much emphasis on that and less on the act of creating. Hello, Joy. But, you know, it is important to know how to use the tools in order to achieve the desired outcomes. Because if you attempted something like this and you never used velvet powder before, you might not get the results that you're after. So these are more advanced type projects that help you build on the skills that you hopefully already have by now. If you didn't catch my Pentart 101 series, they are all still available they're available on my Facebook page, my YouTube channel, the Royal Court Arts Facebook page, and the Royal Court Arts YouTube channel. So if you've never used velvet powder, I do recommend going back and watching and attempting some of those demos first before you attempt to do it on, like, you know, you spend so much time and effort on a project. You don't want that to be like the first time that you've ever tried it, you know, after you've spent 5 hours casting and gluing molds. All right, so we got these berries. And I am going to have to come in. I'm getting a little bit of red paint on some of my leaves. I'm going to have to come in with my little green again, as expected. All right. So one thing I did do, like there were a couple spots where when I lined up my strips, the clay started to shrink and pull away from the sides. Like here, I had a pretty significant gap. So what I actually did was I came in and just added some little berries in some of those little spots to kind of conceal that, like it happened here. So that's why you see some random odd little berries in some places. All right, we're almost done here. Just go around again. Go right there. Right there. Okay, y'all, I think that looks pretty good. We're going to have plenty of glaze and gold wax on there too, so. All right. Okay. Now let me get my green paint. I got to fix some leaves. And yep, everything is figure outable for sure. All right, got a little red there. Oh, I missed a berry. I missed the berry. Right there. Gonna have red and green paint in my hair today. Okay. I think I got them all, most of them. Anyway, got a lot of green there. Green there. And I need to come back in with a little bit of brown too. Okay. All right. Looks about as good as I'm going to get it at the moment. Let's get our brown. All right. Clean up some of our splatter with our brown. Right. All right. Try to just make it just so the berries are red, not everywhere else. All right. And it's okay if I paint a little bit of brown on my leaves. Okay, y'all, I think that is about as good as that's going to get. Now let's move on to antique gold. I'm going to paint these guys here. I'm going to paint my these parts here antique gold. So I'm going to use my antique gold metal pigment. And I'm going to use some Pigment Fix. Thank you, Linda. Like I said, this is definitely a style that very much reminds me of my friend Evetta. I actually wouldn't be surprised if she had actually done this project at some point, and I just am subconsciously copying it, you know, which happens sometimes, you guys. You see things that have an impact on you, and they just live in the back of your mind. And then you think you're coming up with an original idea. And then you see the original project that you were inspired by, and you go, oh, okay, it wasn't really original. I copied without knowing, which does happen, you guys. So don't, you know, we're not perfect. And if we ever forget to give somebody credit for an idea, it's because we didn't remember it was their idea. Happens to me a lot, actually. Because I see so many projects and I'm constantly inspired. It's hard to remember sometimes where you saw everything, but I do try to give credit when it's fresh on my mind and I remember to do so. Okay, so now we're taking antique gold and we're going to do our trim in antique gold. And I'm not going to be able to get it exactly flush. But again, remember, I'm also coming back in with velvet powder. I'm also going to probably touch up these painted areas before I apply my velvet powder. And what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to switch, because I'm not getting this side very well, so I'm going to switch my angle and do the same thing, going the other direction. I love, love, love antique gold. I don't think it gets enough love. So I try to use it when I can because it is such a beautiful color. Seems like everybody wants the brighter gold, but I think we underestimate the antique. I'm going to do my velvet powder last, kind of like I did with the Santa ornament, because I don't want it messing up my work. Or in other words, I can't be, once I get that velvet powder on, I can't be painting as meticulously around it, because once you start painting and getting that velvet powder wet, it's going to make a sticky mess. So it's got to be done very carefully. And as the last kind of finishing, it's a finishing element, you know. It's kind of like think of it almost like a velveteen varnish, if you will, because you don't apply any varnish or anything to it. It is the last step. So we'll just twist it over and get this side really good. Come in here with that gold. All right, and then let's do the other side here. I'm going to dry it real good and then go back over it. Okay, I'm going to dry it real fast. Yes, a lot of intricate painting. All right, I'm going to dry and do one more coat just over the tops of my my border mold here. Got a hair stuck in there. Okay, I think that's that one. And then let's do this one. All right. I think we're in pretty good shape here. Okay, let's dry it again. Okay, now I'm going to do a little bit more touch up where my gold got everywhere. So I'm going to start with my green. And this is sort of acting as like maybe a little bit of a last chance opportunity to fix anything that I see. So a lot of detail. Get yourself a good set of small, like 0 or 1 detail brushes or even micro brushes. The brush really does make a difference, because if you were to try to do this with the wrong brush, you would just be making a big old mess. These are brushes I use for oil painting, so I have them. Mine are sable, but you don't have to use sable. You can use like a synthetic Taklon or something. So even if you were just going to paint this, you know, and do some distressing or something, that would be really pretty too. So I would essentially, if I was going to leave it painted, this is exactly what I would do to just leave it painted as well. I got a little bit of green on my... You guys can consider this is like I guess this is more of a advanced master level class here. You guys can consider this my Christmas gift to you, a free master class on a pretty in-depth project here. They're not all going to be like this, but I figure y'all have worked hard all year. You have stuck with me to learn all about these projects. So this is my way of giving back to you. And doing something hopefully meaningful. I do hope that you will, you know, we do spend a lot of time putting these things together. So I do hope that you'll attempt it or attempt something like it, or that it inspires you to come up with something unique. All right. I probably underestimated how much time we'd be here. So we're at an hour 14. That's not too bad. Once we get to velvet powder, it'll go really quickly. We're at those kind of precision steps where we're having to go a little bit slower, be a little bit more careful. If you were going to leave this painted, I would recommend sanding some of these sections a little bit. To help you get it a little bit smoother. Oh, that's awesome. I love that idea, Donna. I also hope that you'll share your projects with me. Um, uh, the group Decoupage and Mixed Media Inspirations is there for you guys to share any and all projects that you make. We also have the Decoupage Queens and Kings group. So I love, love, love seeing your artwork. Please share your projects with me so I can see what you make. All right, let me clean this. I like this brush a lot, so I'm going to use it for the red as well. All right. Now let's move on to red. My last chance to fix any berries. Oh, I missed some green there. It's okay. If you didn't do this part, it wouldn't be the end of the world because we are going to be covering this up with velvet powder. But I just wanted it to have the best possible chance of looking the way that I wanted it to. So if some of that velvet powder doesn't stick, I don't want there to be gold splotches underneath showing through. Next side. And then I got about one more. Last one, y'all. All right. I think that looks pretty good. I got a couple spots I need to fix where my I got some red on my gold. All right. Let's dry this, and then we're going to finish this band part, and then we will do some velvet powder. Okay, you guys? I think so too, Betty. It's going to look so rich and just so beautiful. And it's the thing about it that I love is how lightweight it is, because there's really not a ton of clay on it. So it looks like it's this really heavy, ornate piece, but it's very light. So I'm going to let you guys decide. I'm kind of undecided about whether or not to do antiquing gel first on this section before I apply my wax, or if I just go straight to wax. So I'm going to let you guys decide, and it would just be the holly and berries section. If I do antiquing gel on it first and then gold wax, or if I go straight to gold wax. It's going to look beautiful either way. I'm not sure which way I want to do it. So I would apply the brown antiquing gel and then wipe it back and then do the gold wax, or I could leave it off and just go straight to gold wax. So I have one vote for antiquing gel first. And if I do the antiquing gel, I won't, I'm not going to go like super, super heavy. It's just going to get sort of down in those grooves, you know. Antique gel. Okay, you guys are seeing antique gel. So I got 2 for antique gel. Okay. All right, that's good enough for me. So I got 3 votes for antiquing gel. I'm just going to use this brown. Let me dry a little bit more because I want to make sure I'm good and dry. All right. So let me get the medium brush and my paper towels. And that would actually be like a really nice, if you were going to leave this painting, that would be a really nice finishing touch also for the painted, a painted version of this versus the antique, the velvet powder. I do think the antiquing gel sort of starts to marry everything together too, and helps you to sort of hide like imperfections. And then once you get that wax on there, it helps to make your wax pop a little bit more. But you lose the brilliance of the reds and the greens, you know, in doing that. But that's okay, because we're going to get the brilliance in these gold seams and also the velvet powder. Just be careful when you're doing this, you know, that you don't break any of your clay off. So don't overdo it with your wiping. And again, important to get this like finished before I get my velvet powder on, because once I get that velvet powder on, I'm not going to be able to spray or paint anywhere really around it. All right. So that looks pretty good. Let's close that up and get this good and dry. Now that I've done it here, I'm debating on doing it on my gold parts too. What do you guys think? Should we do the antiquing gel on the gold molds also, or leave it be? So vote yes for do antique gel on the gold parts also, or vote no for leave it alone. Maybe we should get the wax on first and see how it looks. Leave the gold. Okay, there we go. I'm going to do a couple things here. Antique on the gel. So we got 2 votes for no and 2 votes for yes. I need some more votes. Here, let's do the wax first and see how it looks with the wax. I'm actually going to do 2. I'm going to do the antique gold antique paste, and then I'm going to go back over it with the brighter gold. So I'm going to do it in a couple different layers here. And you can totally layer your waxes, guys. Don't feel like you have to stick with just one. You can definitely mix and match them. Now that I'm seeing the wax on there, I kind of think it needs to stay as is, but we'll decide in just a minute. Okay, so this is the antique gold wax, and then I'm going to come in behind it with the regular gold. Yeah, I kind of think it might dull it too much. Now let's do the regular gold. And I don't want a ton of it. I just want enough to just brighten it up, and it's sort of giving me the same. Yeah, I think if we did the antiquing gel, I think it would look too dull against what we're doing here. So I think I'm going to leave it. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think so too. All right, y'all. Moving on to velvet powder. So next we are going to get ourselves a small brush, a little detail brush, and we're going to apply our decor glue tacky. I'm going to apply it. First, I'm going to apply it. I'm going to apply it one color at a time, because what I don't want to do is have my green stick to my red area and vice versa. So I'm going to work one color at a time, which means I'm applying my velvet powder in an alternating manner. So we'll start with green, and I've got my decor glue tacky, and basically I want to apply my decor glue tacky everywhere that I want velvet powder to stick. The nice thing about it is it goes on kind of white. So you can see where you're applying it. And then as it becomes ready, it starts to dry clear. And if it's not perfectly smooth, it's no big deal. Oops, I don't want it there. So I'm using a bigger brush for the larger sections, and then I'll use the smaller brush again for So I want you guys to be doing your crafts at a high level. Don't settle for mediocrity. Challenge yourself and see if you can elevate what you're doing. And really, it's really about time. You know, the more challenging things, it's not that they're necessarily harder. It's just that they take a little more time. So if you can break it up and do, you know, just do a little bit each day, pretty soon by the end of the week, you're all done and it doesn't even feel like you've worked that hard on it. Like, trust me, if I wasn't doing this on a live, I would have done, this probably would have taken 3 or 4 days for me to complete, you know, because I would have painted it and then walked away and then come back and painted some more and walked away. And I approach when I do my oil painting, I approach it the same way. I'm not going to be able to paint a whole portrait in one sitting. It's going to take several. But when I come back to it with fresh eyes, I'm ready for the next section. Okay. Hello. You live? Yep. We're almost done. Okay, let me get this dry and then I'll do the green velvet powder. So basically with the decor glue tacky, it's ready to go as soon as you see all the, oh, I missed the spot right here. I missed a whole section. It's ready to go as soon as you see the white part turn clear. I did, yes. I sure did. So yeah, so I wanted to do this so you guys could sort of see the method, like, you know, even sometimes just the order that you do things. makes a difference. Kind of protecting the stages of your work along the way, you know, so you have the least chance of messing something up. So I've got a couple spots I can see because I can see the mat showing through that I needed to come back in and hit. Okay. All right, I think we're ready to go with green. I'm using the, this one is called, what is this one called? It's just called green. And we're just going to do, kind of carefully do a section at a time. Okay. Take my brush and push it down in there. All right. Do this one. Doesn't take a lot. Right. And again, if you're one of our retailers and you have these products in stock, feel free to share your links. And we will dust that off, so not to worry. All right, now let's move to this side. You can use your brush. It needs to be a dry brush to sort of help get it into the little crevices. It is Decor Glue Tacky. Decor Glue Tacky. This one. And it's sticking because it leaves a tacky residue. The express glue doesn't dry tacky. It dries matte. So my brush is kind of helping push it all down in there. Okay. Go along our edges. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to dust it off. And then we're going to move to red. I do wish this green was a little darker. What I probably would do next time is I would probably mix it with a little bit of brown. We do have a brown velvet powder. So that's probably what I would do next time. But it's good. All right, so now I'm just going to dust off the excess. I can use my brush to sort of coax it off. All right, and now let's do red. You do not put any sealer on it. Okay. Let me get Yeah, you don't put any sealer on it because if you do, you will ruin the softness of the powder. So it's a finishing step. This should be the last thing you do on your project. So if you wanted to seal some of the painted areas, then you should do that before you do this. I did not because this is going to come out once a year. It's not going to be an everyday household object that I'm touching all the time. So even though I haven't sealed my painted areas per se, I did use Pigment Fix, which is a varnish. And I also used wax, which has a little bit of protection on it. And antiquing gel also has some protection on it. So I'm not worried about sealing anything at this stage. The end of the live. No, Sheila, I won't be. You just, I don't know if somebody, Sue, if you want to maybe type one out. I've used red vine paint. I used pine green paint. I used earthy brown paint. I used the Cheerful Cardinals mold by Prima. I used a rope mold. I used Jovi clay. I used heavy body gel to glue down my molds. I used Pigment Fix and antique gold metal pigment. Then I used antique gel in brown. Then I used gold wax and antique gold wax. And I'm using green and garnet velvet powder and decor glue tacky. And a ball, the plastic ball I got from Amazon. You can find it in my, you can find that in my Amazon storefront under surfaces to decoupage. And the reason I'm not being very specific is because, you know, I want you guys to, I don't want you guys to have to go out and buy all new stuff. I want you to use what you have, except for, of course, the velvet powder, because, you know, you can't really get these at everywhere. But, you know, there are substitutions you could make. For example, you could use any paint brands. You could use any gold paint. Doesn't have to be the Pigment Fix. can use whatever molds you have hanging around. All right. I would say the most specific thing with the velvet powder, this is the glue. This is the glue you have to use. Decor glue tacky for sure. That's the best one for velvet powder. I also use that for glitter and for metal flakes and foils. All right, now we'll switch to garnet. We also have a red color, like just a plain red color, but I really like that garnet color. I think it's so pretty. All right, let's dry. Hi, sweetheart. How you feeling? How's your temperature? Can you check it? You can't hear? Okay. Yeah, Elizabeth is sick. She's yeah, that'll probably work, Peggy. I would say try it on a small area first, and try it on something like not a project first. Just try it, and then try to stick it down with that and see how well it does. The decor glue tacky is like a very industrial type of strength to it. I just love this red so much, y'all. Love, love, love the red here. Okay. Trying to brush off. I don't want to. Trying to keep it isolated to just my red areas. I don't want that red and green to mix. I mean, there is, you're going to have some pieces that go rogue, but if I can help steer it. That's what I'm trying to do. Okay. What is it? 102. 102. All right, take some Advil, honey. Okay. Okay. It's so beautiful, isn't it? You could do the same thing with glitter. You could do it with foils, metallic foils, foil flakes, metallic flakes, colored flakes. Or just leave it painted. Leave it painted and put some wax, waxes around it to distress it some. Would be really beautiful. I have just been I love luxurious velvet. I have been on a velvet kick for this holiday season. So every project that I do lately, I want to use velvet powder. Sometimes there is a particular product because I don't use it that much during the year, so sometimes I just okay, this is the season and let's do it. I didn't get too crazy with the foils this year or even the chrome powders. Like last year, I was all about the chrome powders. I don't think I used them once this year. They're definitely timeless and very classic. All right, let's do this side. Now, guys, we're almost done. Thank you for hanging out with me. We're at 2 hours, 2+. We're at 2:06, and we still have 25 people watching. So you guys must really want to see how we turn out. We lost a few, but that's okay. They'll come back. They'll watch it. They'll probably hit that. Sometimes when I watch lives, I do the fast forward, So as long as they see it come together. But I appreciate y'all being here and sticking it out. I know this is a lot longer than we normally do, for sure, right? Yeah, and so this is one I would definitely make, I'll definitely make like a special keepsake box for it also because, I don't want to just throw it in the bin with the others because of the time effort. I probably now have about at least 4 hours into this one ornament. So I want to keep it protected in its own little special box. And I love the idea of doing that for the holidays for some of your more special ornaments that you make. Why not take a little bit of extra time and make a coordinating keepsake box for it. Last one, and then we'll put the little hanger on it. Did we get down in there? I don't know if we did or not. See, look, I missed a whole section here. I am gonna try to see if I can patch that here. I don't know if I can or not. What if I just try to carefully? So I kind of patched it. Not ideal, but you're very welcome. Lil of me, I'm not sure what your name is, but you're very welcome. All right, so let's dust that off. So I'm just using my brush to sort of clean up the castings too, because I got some powder sticking to the castings. It's just a dry, clean brush, and you're just kind of tapping it off. I'm rubbing off. I got a couple little spots of red on the green, so I'm just trying to dust that off some, but let's see. All right, you guys, so here we go. I think that is pretty awesome. I want to do one more thing. I want to give it a new hook, a new top. Let me turn my hot glue on. Good. I'm still finishing this one. Oops. Pretty, huh? I gotta just do one more thing and then I'm done. Okay, so next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna replace the top of this because that's pretty ugly. So I'm gonna use my largest drum here, which is gonna be really pretty. But first I need to trim down. I turn my hot glue on. Let me clean my hands, y'all. I need to trim down that top because that's pretty big. So my little trimmers. I see a couple spots here that so we go all the way around. I think that's so pretty and elegant. Again, I just wish I wish that green was a little bit darker, but I'm okay with it. I'm, I'm not going to freak out or anything. All right. So I'm just going to trim some of this. You can see like some of my little pieces just have decided that they want to start splitting apart, which ultimately is not ideal. Ideally, these should be flush together. I'm going to see if I can try to force them closed with my top, which should sort of hold it in place. But first I need to trim down some of these sides. So I have a pair of little clippers here that I'm using. Okay, that should get it most of the way there. Yeah. Okay. A little more on this side too. I'm going to trim a little bit on this side also. I'm just trimming down this plastic a little bit, you guys, so my cap will fit over the top. Okay. There we go. That's better. Okay. Thank you, Donna. That's very much appreciated. All right. Remember, this is still plastic underneath, so it's still breakable. I'm going to try to trim just a little bit more here. Get some of that out of there. All right, let's get our hot glue. I hope you guys have a very Merry Christmas. I won't see you again until after. Take care of each other. Enjoy time with your family and friends or whoever you choose to spend your time with. And I'm thankful for all of you guys. And I'm so blessed to be able to do this. So thank you guys. This is what we did. Thanks y'all for being here. And I'll see you next time. This is not a flat one. This is a round one. I think you can find this one if you look under the Santa. If you look under the Santa ornament, this is the one for the Santa one. It's on the Amazon shop. All right, you guys, Merry Christmas. And I will see you again before New Year. So I'm not going to say Happy New Year quite yet, but take care. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys next week. All right. Bye-bye.